Today I'm talking to Richard Beddard, Interactive Investor's very own Share Sleuth. Now, Richard, one of your recent articles about Games Workshop kicked up quite a stink. It's one of our best read, if not the best read article that's ever appeared on the Interactive Investor's website. Could you just explain why it kicked up such a stink and what you think of the company and its future?
Games Workshop is a company that I ought to love, and it ought to be one of the high confidence picks in the Share Sleuth portfolio. For a very simple reason, it is a very different company. Essentially, if you want companies to go on and prosper over a long period of time, they really have to do something different. If they're just doing the same thing as their competitors, then there's no advantage there for them, and so I wouldn't be that interested. Whereas Games Workshop is in a sort of world of its own. It makes fantasy miniatures for wargaming or modelling, and it creates its own intellectual property. It has a completely, I think you'd call it vertically integrated model. It virtually does everything. It manufactures them, it retails them, it markets them, it publishes its own materials about them. So there are very attractive things about this company. It's extremely well-known brand, all of that kind of thing. The problem I have with it is simply that despite that advantage, if you like, or that you can imagine that advantage about it, and the incredible passion that its customers have for its products, the narrative of its annual reports and its public statements, what its management say, doesn't seem to tally with the story I've just told you. So sales have been flat for over a decade. Its shops, I understand from the last annual report, are unprofitable. It's still a profitable company. It sells by mail order, and it sells through other shops, you know, hobby shops run by individuals or so on. So, but so you ask why? Why is it, if it is what I've bigged it up to be in my mind, why isn't it producing the goods? Why isn't it growing? Why aren't its stores profitable? Why is it actually cutting costs quite frantically to keep profitability where it is? I mean, a really strong company shouldn't have to rely on cost cutting to drive profitability. It should be because more and more people are buying the goods. So I mean, I'm in really two minds about it. It's very difficult to know whether this is a temporary problem or there is more to it, that there are competitors that are gradually becoming more successful. And so, but all I can say is the longer it goes on, the more my confidence ebbs away. And people have seen this on the site, I guess, and so they've responded to that. And particularly customers who disagree with the company's strategy have also seen it. And so a large number of those readers you're seeing aren't actually investors, quite possibly they're actually customers who think it's doing something wrong as well.
I mean, the share price has been between £5 and £6 for the past, roughly, in the past few years. Where is that support for the share coming from? You won't care about the share price, but where do you think that support might be coming from?
Difficult question for me to answer, because I don't pay attention to the share price. I mean, yes, if you look at the decision engine, so my evaluation of the market's evaluation of the price and my evaluation of the company, it's a sort of middle ranking company, so that reflects my deep uncertainty about it. But I mean, there are obviously investors that have a version of the story that is like the version I outlined to you a minute ago, and they have the confidence. Now, why that would be, I couldn't answer, because I'm not them. All I can say is that there are lots of questions that I have failed to get answers, and that could well be my failure. I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm just saying that if I can't get the answers, and I've tried, if I can't square the circle, if I can't tally what management is saying to what the actual results are showing, then I'm worried. I don't actually think that much about what other people are thinking. That's the best I can do, I'm afraid.
Richard, thanks very much.
Thank you, Lee.